Hi everybody, we're back for the final of the losers bracket to determine who goes on to face KA Leo's Amber deck in the best of 5 final of day 1 of the World Championships Grand Finals. I'm doing the streaming here, but most of the talking will be done by Kevin Nacho Ches.
Hola, folks.
And Lewis, if he's about. I'm not sure if he is now, because we finished at unexpected time, I think. Jumbo will be back. I'll be around. Maybe we'll have a larger group on the chat or taking in turns per game. I don't know. But let's find out now whether the game started. So I'll look that up now. So this is A1 Lion Dragon versus A1 Busty. A1 Lion Dragon has fought his way through the losers bracket. Busty has just dropped down to the losers bracket as a result of losing the final of the winners bracket. So let's look that up.
Well, it'll be kind of interesting if Lion Dragon takes this back. He's back up against KA Leo, who was the person who put him there to begin with.
Oh, was he?
Yes, it was actually the match against KA Leo that put Lion Dragon in the losers bracket, but it's arguable that that was because of the error he got with that lightning strike in hand. So this is his chance to reclaim glory.
Okay, and that match has actually started already, A1 Lion Dragon Busty. So you ready to hop in?
I am already in.
Oh, okay, fair enough. The stream's going to be a bit behind you then.
Not a worry. There's enough minutes there that they probably we're going to catch up to them really quick. And the early game looks to be pretty what you would expect.
Nothing played on turn 1. A couple of allies out.
Element completely skips turn 2.
Right.
No tome or 2-drop.
Amber's looking nice now with the Puan and an Aldon down.
Yeah, if I'm Amber, I'm very happy with the way this game started off. Good old-fashioned Jeweler's Dream buff. Clean the field back up.
Okay, you're a bit ahead now, but yeah. And this Amber's got a lot of answers for allies, and the Aladwin deck depends a lot on allies. So, and the Aladwin won't be able to get rid of the Blood Frenzy here. So, but the Blood Frenzy puts Amber on the clock. So many different aspects to this, which could send it either way.
So you have seen the Blood Frenzy drop now?
Blood Frenzy's just dropped.
Then we are on sync with each other.
We're super synced, everybody.
Our fusion dance is complete.
And this is the first time we've met up today to cover the World Championships.
It is. I do miss you.
Good to be on with you.
Oh, they recognized my voice first. That makes me very happy. And there we see Eladwin kind of trying to take the board back, doing a little burn there to clean things up.
Lightning strike.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, we're still in sync. It's going really fast, this. Seductress drops down and seduces the other Seductress.
And
Wax.
more burn, just keeping that field nice and clean.
Yeah, fireballs. Well, this looks like it's in overdrive. This is going crazy fast on my computer.
They are both just snapping their plays out super fast. So far, the combat math has looked, I don't want to insult them and say simple, but it's looked very straightforward so far.
Yeah. They must have played their turns really fast if there's only 2 minutes behind and everything's just going super fast.
I'm relatively sure we're live now.
We can be live now. This is crazy fast.
There's been a few moments there that the game took an extra second to do something. I think that we are actually watching 2 top-tier players just going at it at full speed.
Wow. So we've got 2 crippled allies there now. Aeon's dropped down. Amber has trouble with Aeon.
With Ella's only having 3 HP, I don't think Amber cares about Aeon anymore.
Doesn't matter. It's gone so fast. The Ladwin's down to 3. Wow, that was a quick match. It's not finished yet, but it wasn't a quick match. It was a custom match.
It's about as finished as it's going to get. Amber needs to drop a weapon and buff it, and Eladwin's dead. And there we see the Spectral Saber.
Wow, that was some quick match.
Well, back in the day, there were actually articles back when Elwin did have her racing builds that were so popular and so viable. There were people that actually did the math and found that Amber's a completely competent death racer. She can go at it just like Elwin does. And I think you really saw that burst damage just now.
Just can't get over how fast that was. There wasn't much thinking involved, I guess. Just like, I'll just play this.
Well,
I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that.
Typically, most of your thoughts, whenever you're at playing those kinds of games, it's all about figuring out the combat math to get the exact precision strike to take the opposing allies. And on this one, it wasn't a whole lot of combat math. The ally totals were always exactly what you needed to take it out with a single shot.
Just boom. And yeah, it took 6 minutes, that match. I believe the Majumbo's back now to hop in. I think.
I am indeed here.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Kill.
Can hear you. Cool, so the next game's up. 32 seconds ago. Is the right person starting?
One of the things I find kind of funny is we said right at the start of that turn 2 play, is that going to hurt Eldwin? And I think that turn 2 lack of drop really did matter in the end. It let so much go at her.
Okay, so that game was a dud game. Not the right person starting.
Last.
If we meet our Kickstarter goal, then we will put in a feature to choose who goes first or second or random. That feature will come if we meet that goal.
I'd be honest, I'd love that feature myself.
It's going to cost roughly $30,000 to get that implemented, and we've only got 21,000 so far. So please contribute so we can get that sorted.
Contribute to that 30,000 tier.
They're playing again now. Hopefully this will have the right starter.
So just for the people in chat that are mentioning the shuffle bug and being confused by it, the shuffle bug is what many players like to blame randomization on when they pull multiple copies of a card in their hand in the opening game. It's an unfortunate side effect of actually truly random engine that clumping is completely relevant.
It happens.
Clumping can happen.
If it's fully random, it can and will happen.
I was at a Christmas party and I was drunk at the time. I accidentally perpetuated the myth of the shuffle bug. I think I kind of confirmed it and then it just got worse from there. But I was drunk at the time, so it's not real. I saw a shuffle bug on the table. I was sure it was there. It wasn't.
So while we're waiting for the next game to get started, I don't know if you guys ever do any, read any random college tests or anything, or science projects, but it's really, really fun to read the ones where they actually talk about randomization.
Oh, looks like it started.
Properly started.
Since you mentioned randomization, started. Done.
Almost universally, humans fail at spotting randomization.
Yeah, it's because, when we see randomization, we start to think, make them all different, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and not 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. It's hard to do that in our heads.
Ooh, we see again the lack of turn 2 play on Eldwin, but it was mirrored by the Amber. Very mirrored.
That's very mirrored, yeah.
You could call it a mirror image.
Dun dun dun! Nice usage of the disable there to lower Aeon's or Aldon's ability to protect himself, so you could get your Aldon in to deal some damage.
Well, there's people on their stream asking about mulligans. We have thought about it. It would change the game quite a lot. I think it would help rush decks mostly.
It's kind of ironic, but yes, the decks that people want to play against the least are the ones that benefit the most from a mulligan mechanic. So that's something we have to take into account whenever we're really working on it.
Oh, because a mulligan could help a rush opening. It could help you find your combo pieces that you don't have in the first hand. It could actually benefit the exact decks that you're I don't like that deck, and then oops, that's exactly the one that got better.
Yep. So that's one of the reasons that mulligan has been so far off, not because we're against a mulligan mechanic, but because it has to be done perfectly or it does more damage than putting it in did good.
And it's not like other games where you need dedicated cards for resources. In this game, you can just lob all 2cc and 3cc allies in if you want. In which case, your starting hand, if you want that dream start, you can easily get it with the mulligan. Because you've just increased your odds of that perfect ally start by 20% or something. So
there we see the Lady and Seductress coming down, putting a little bit more work, helping to clean up the board.
I gotta say, Amber's really fallen behind on board here. So many allies come out from Aladdin, but that Jeweler's Dream's still around. That could still be a deal breaker.
And Eladwin, realizing that, chooses not to ram her Seductress into it. She chooses to give the Seductress a little more time on the field.
Uh-oh, Berserker's like, more allies, you say, and he comes ramming in there. He loves the idea of allies being on the board. He wants that. He's like, I get haste now.
And suddenly it's flipped round.
Not really. And Eladwin's ability to take that Berserker right back out and have the first turn, or the resources from her going first to just pour more allies out.
And Lying Dragon is quick to tell us that he hates that guy. Blows up a wild Berserker with his ability. He's like, God, plastic Berserker.
Good banter there between the two A1 members. There we go. There's another one that hit the board. I hate that.
Oh no!
Yeah, I have another one.
Oh, he really hates that guy.
We didn't see the Berserker in the previous Amber, did we?
I don't think so. It wasn't an important aspect because they were just too busy answering each other's blood frenzies. Lying Dragon is very unhappy about that.
There we see just two huge allies. Amber does not like the way that board just went for her.
That's a nice situation. If Aeon can buff that Sandworm next turn, it's going to start getting heavily out of range. Until it gets crippled, I guess. Can he get rid of the Aeon? He's not got enough, has he?
He does not have enough to take it out this turn, but he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that it can be gotten out at some point. Make sure that Aeon is not a permanent threat to the game.
Aw, but I love permanent threats. They're so fun.
What's getting buffed now?
And there we see the Sandworm has gotten a lot stronger now, being a 3/4 with his ability.
Just as Brain predicted.
Jasmine and her big sister on the other side of the board. Little
Sort of
Jasmine, big Jasmine.
Like little Jasmine, big Jasmine. They're miniatures.
Boom, got to take that one out. But the other one's, well, she's not going to seduce the Aeon, but there's not enough for a fireball, so she's going to encourage that Aeon not to attack, or that'd be a waste because you might as well just kill him.
Realistically, you need to kill the Aeon and use the stun on another ally, like that Sandworm.
Yeah, she's got the weapon there, so yeah, she can do that.
So it's always a position that she can come back from. Jasmine's ability to stun an ally and getting two of them out is really going to have bought Amber some time. But one of the things you have to be worried about is you haven't seen a lot of burn from Eladwin yet this game, and you know she runs a fair amount.
Caitlin's just popped in.
A beautiful night here in Florida.
I guess I could turn my chat back on because I'm not on the screen right now.
Nice.
Yes, you can do that. It's true. You're not on the stream, so you don't have to turn it off.
A1 Pooch is in as well. Back to this though.
We're getting a lot of
Aeon's been killed. Yeah, what's all these A1 people doing here for? What's that all about?
Now AA1?
I think the A1 players are scouting for these guys for their A1 fellows.
Yes, indeed. I think this is all a A1 plot. The A1 wants the inside intel, and they're looking at their own guild members to find it.
No, the little gnome is asking people to stop spamming and random guys. That's going to be really distracting for these players, but it's all part of the World Championships, I guess. They can turn off chat.
If I was playing at this level, I would have my chat off.
I probably would have had it on until right that moment, and then gone, okay, that's too much. Like, off.
Yeah, the gnome
See,
showed up now.
Amber did a great job of flipping the board around, but I'm going to be a little bit concerned if I'm Amber. That Blood Frenzy was needed, and you see Eldon's going to automatically counter it, and then take the Jasmine right out with the ability and still have the Sandworm on.
Right.
Ooh, and
The
Champion
love
Heirloom
parts aren't cancelled.
dropping down and saying, hey, keep it up, Amber. Let's see what you got.
Come at me, bro, as it were.
Come at me, bro.
She'll kill
Broette?
that champ.
Yes, broette. Well, Champ got commandat and died.
There's the
Come at me,
just
bro.
doing a little more work, telling the Sandworm, nope, one more turn without your fighting powers.
So that just seduced the worm. Who'd have thunk it? She got a fireball as payment for that. Bit of magic.
Smack in the face with fire.
The first game went so fast. Busty won it, didn't he? Went so fast. Amber, wasn't it? Super Rush Amber.
Yes, the first game was just like you snapped your fingers and it was done already.
Well, the first game, the combat math was relatively straightforward. Like I was saying, all the hit points were exactly what you had to kill with. There was very little need to work on efficiency. Whereas this game, the Aeons, the Sandworms, they're just being that little bit out. And that's just enough to make the combat math take time and be relevant. I'm sorry, I clicked on Neryl's link in the chat, and that actually got me.
You're giggling on stream.
Look at the link!
I saw the link. I did not giggle, though.
I'll follow it. I've got the giggles. I'll have a look.
Oh, we got more
Very
giggling now.
Very good. That's nice. So image of Kyle with boxing gloves on, saying, "Come at me, bro." Kyle will follow that link. Yeah. Okay. Back to this match. Look at that board. Look at that board.
If I'm Amber, I'm actually getting a little bit nervous right now.
Have to start dropping those crippling blows. Okay, one ally's just fallen down.
It's going to come down to needing crippling blows to bring this board back. And you have to be really careful on the combat math again. A misplay will cause certain allies to be outside of your kill range.
So that chump's gonna bite the bullet. Then a cripple or something. Another ally. Suddenly it's turned around a little bit.
Nice usage playing the Pooin first to get the extra resources, get the maximum efficiency out of that JD. And is he going to maximize those last 3 resources, get the maximum efficiency? You know, he's kind of got to be hoping for a Blood Frenzy right there.
Yeah, really. That's what you'd want to see, but does he have it?
Nope, he was not able to get full efficiency off the JD. He had 3 resources left open at the end.
Aw, too bad. I guess it happens.
So you didn't even need the JD trickery then?
Technically, no, he didn't.
It was possible he had another idea that he was going to launch and just decided to scrap it at the last second.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah, Pooin first and JD, I guess that leaves his options open because now he has all 6 resources to do whatever else with and chose to go the Seductress route.
Those Seductresses are just putting in work this game.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. Good card, that one. Jasmine, too.
There we see Element leveraging that Tome of Knowledge, saying, okay, I'm going to dig a little bit. I have the hit points to spare. Let's make a game out of this.
Could we see this double fireball for the win coming up?
We haven't seen
close.
pretty much any burn yet. I mean, we've seen like a Fireball and a Lightning Strike or 2.
Well, we know his deck has them.
So right now, I'm getting a little bit nervous there's a Supernova on the way.
Oh yeah,
good time to play it.
Low.
Well, Eldwin almost has enough resources to play a Nova and a Threat in the same turn.
Or just Nova Fireball.
Yeah.
Nova threat sounds decent. The worm will even live, although it's not really doing anything.
Not really.
Busty's just tried to force out the Nova, is he? By playing a third ally? It's kind of risky.
That really, really is. You already had the Eldwin in a position where she wanted the Nova. Trying to force one is really just overextending, but we say this from our comfortable armchairs, we're not in the World Championship.
That's true. We are not in the World Championship.
We're not allowed to compete, otherwise we would be there now. I'm sure I'd be there with my Lily. And
Back to the Lily deck.
Trevor would be there with his Bloodlust sleeves, hoping they pay off.
Yeah, my Bloodlust advantage.
Well, I will say, shortly after the first World Championship, in a friendly game with nothing on the line, I did manage to beat Beanum out.
Yeah.
But that was about an hour-long game, I think he and I played that day.
Nice.
Ooh, nice double fireball from Eldwin there, basically telling Amber, yeah, we're just going to race the rest of this game out.
Amber might really want to drop an Enrage now, though.
Ooh, no Enrage on that turn, which means if there's a Lightning Strike, a Nova, or another Fireball, that's GG.
Yep. Or even Nova, yeah.
And with that many resources and that many cards in hand, there's likely that Element either has the card or is going to be able to dig for it.
Wow.
Example
Super
given.
dig. Super dig. She doesn't find it now, after all that digging. Sorry. Fireball for the win. That's 1-1. Don't say sorry.
A perfect move by him. Just, you had the resources, draw, dig, there's the fireball.
He's just saying sorry to his fellow guildmate for fireballing him.
Because he drew 4 cards, though, there. So, 5 including the one that he just got off the top.
Yep, he drew 5 in total.
So 5 cards in that turn, and he only needed one of 3 different cards in his deck to be able to launch the kill. I don't know the numbers on it off the top of my head, but that was probably in his favor.
It was almost inevitable at that point that he'd have one of them to kill him.
And they're going to start up almost straight away. And it's random who goes first, so we'll be able to hop in at real time.
We can hop right in. Watch an exciting finish. And there they go. They've started.
If I click on it now, it'll say waiting password.
Not me. I can get in.
Hello?
Oh, well, don't be too fast.
Hello, Lewis.
Oh,
Right.
I thought I heard that I was supposed to pop
I've
in,
only
so...
just joined here now. Yeah, we're live now. Say hi, Lewis. Did you say hi already?
Hello, everyone.
We've got a fatal 4-way now on the commentary team. Maybe 2 of us will speak for the Amber side, and the other will speak for the Eldwin side or something.
I don't want to die. This fatal 4-way thing scares me.
It can only be one.
Seeing both players kind of be very aggressive in this opening. Just lots of allies and draw just right off the cuff.
The Bad Santa's already dropped, so they've got a good handful of cards. So Amber's just dropped 2 of her allies. Given that it's gone both ways so far, is anybody going to dare try and guess who's going to win this one?
I have to give the edge, and it's a microscopic edge, to Amber. Just warriors, on the whole, are stronger against mages. This warrior deck seems extremely well teched for its purpose. I have to give the edge to Amber.
What about you, Lewis? What do you think?
Traditionally, Amber is a little bit better, but considering that you can tech now, I'm going to give the slight edge to Eladrin. Just considering that she has access to more tech now than she did before.
I will say that I want Eladwin to win this match just because I want to see Lion Dragon go from being knocked out back to playing the person who knocked him out for the title.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. If Busty wins this, he goes back to playing the person who knocked him out for the title as well. And a best of 5 between those two guys could go on for like 5 hours. So
let's not hope for that.
It's a shame for Busty. I just hope both players play well and the best person wins.
I will say, even having made it this far, both players absolutely have a right to be a finalist. So there's no like, well, if they win, they kind of got lucky. No, both people put in the work to get there.
Yes, they have definitely earned this.
This is the showcase of the Immortals. And these two will go down in history, be legends forever. Right? That's part of the prize structure, yeah? Because I told them that earlier.
Yeah, I can see them being legends. I mean, we still talk about Beenum almost 2.5 years after his win, so I definitely say it's fair to think that people who win these things become become legends.
Do they get their own heroes named after them, maybe? You have a Busty hero?
I think
all of our heroes are Busty heroes.
But, did I miss a meeting where they were promised immortality?
Female ones.
I can't miss a meeting.
I'll promise them immortality if they won, yeah. That was one of the pre-order bonuses.
That was a pre-order man.
That has
missed all the good stuff.
Bad for Amber very quickly, having that Aeon down on the field already.
Oh yeah, but Eladwin's down to 13 health. This is like the previous game where I thought, oh, that Aeon hitting, that's solid. But wait a minute, Eladwin's down to like solo.
Interesting play on the retreat just then. Just basically telling Eladwin, no, we're going to race, and I'm going to trip you. Without that play, Eladwin might have been able to make a game of it, but that single retreat may have actually just wrapped this up.
Boom on the do there. Well, she's got to do 10 damage.
She's got to do 10 damage, but she has 3 on the board, an ability that lets her burst out more of it. All she needs is to draw cards that slow down Eladwin, and she can pull it out. Now, I'm not saying Eladwin is out of this game by any stretch of the imagination. She certainly has the ability to come back. The beauty of her ability in knowing she had that Aeon in hand, but it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for her.
Just a weapon coming out now, she's going to have to wear that weapon down, or that's it really, isn't it?
That Blood Frenzy just then will either be Amber's salvation or the card that ends this game for her.
If, say, she drops the Spectral Saber, that's going to be 4 damage to the face. It probably won't stick because it'll get pinged down, but if she drops another one next turn...
That's the game.
So, yeah.
You've also completely removed Supernova from the equation this game. Eladwin's not willing to risk that Blood Frenzy working in her favor. She's just going to cancel it right out.
Start whacking.
Put some damage to the dome. See, if I'm Eladwin, I'm kind of in an interesting position here. If I draw my Supernova, do I sack it? Do I hold it in case, just in case I don't get that extra few damage from Amber?
I was getting distracted by the chat then, if that was a question for us, sorry. Distracted by Martin JF saying he had leftover immortality. You might be immortal, mate, but I'm still coming after you. Immortals can still be killed.
Here you see Eladwin, even though she has a nice, solid presence on the board, she's still taking her time, keeping allies off the field. She's like, Amber can't deal with this kind of setup.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to put this on the clock. I'm going to roll it. And Busty seems to feel confident. He has lost the game, just threw up the GG. And that fireball most likely seals this up.
Yeah, there's enough on the field there. Lion Dragon's made it through. Back to face KA Leo. who knocked him out when his computer glitched on a lightning strike or something?
His computer crashed while he had a lightning strike in hand.
Was his computer struck by lightning? Do we have confirmation of that?
If so, it has the best recovery of all time. I want his recovery OS.
It does. Although I will say, GDC, you and Martin JF, for those of you who are Family Guy fans, it reminds me an awful lot of the Chicken and Peter. My goodness, there is some serious love
Now,
lost.
Wait a minute, who's Peter and who's the chicken?
I was
in
about to
that?
say, considering, Ian's position, or Gunnar position over us, do you want to call which one is which on that one?
Either's
I
bad. Either's bad. Well done, Lion Dragon. Let's talk about that.
Yes,
Lion
well
Dragon.
done, Lying Dragon. He's moved on.
Commiserations to Busty.
Both players did an
See him
awesome
tomorrow.
job.
Plus, he
Eloquent.
secured third place. That's a good finish, if you ask me.
Absolutely, and I think just then you really, really saw the power of Lion Dragon. He came back from a situation where he was at 7 health. Amber needed a couple of good top decks to turn it around, and instead of getting antsy, instead of just going for the throat, he took his time, he played the control game, he ran his deck, he didn't let it get to him, and he just cruise controlled in.
Can I be the first one to say it? Lion Dragon's OP. Just saying.
He is OB. And we're finally in a position where the forum bracket is somewhat accurate again, because it's KA Leo against Lying Dragon, and that's what it says. Good job, forum bracket.
We knew you'd get there in the end.
Had to use
Somebody
challenge to patch
woken
it up.
Leo?
Yes. I believe last I checked, he went off to get himself something to eat, because I basically said, go, get food, and he was like, I'm hungry. But that was a good 2 rounds ago, so.
Well, if we remember, that was actually something we kind of said was an advantage for the person who won the winner's bracket, is you'd have that extra few minutes to go grab a soda, refresh yourself. Lying Dragon's going to have to be ready to play the second K Leo is. K Leo has all the advantage on this.
It's going to have to start pretty soon. Can we give him 5 minutes? Start in 5 minutes?
All right,
can talk
Lying
over-
Dragon says he's restarting his device quickly to avoid a crash, just in case.
That is a
Being
smart
careful.
maneuver. We are
Being
glad,
careful.
glad to hear that.
Apparently
I
he's been
could
hit.
do with
His
ducking
computer was
away
hit by
and
lightning before or something. He crashed.
I'm driving the stream. Could you ask him to start in 5 minutes so that we can hop in at the right time? We've just got to pop out.
All right, I'll tell him now.
So you can
5
recap
minutes.
what's happened the rest of the day. And in fact, I can put the bracket up if the bracket's now accurate.
Yes, if Mr. Ali is in possession of a warmed over burrito, now is the time to indulge.
Just so that... There we go. So there's the bracket on the screen. I'm just popping out for a minute because I really need a drink of booze. And I'll remember to mute myself as well.
It's been a
Sorry,
long
the
day,
vehicles.
It's been a long day, sir. It's been a long day.
So I believe the loser's bracket was broken. Is that correct, or was that fixed in the end, Trevor?
Oh, it was broken. I had to use challenge to fix it.
Ah.
Mm. I'm looking at challenge now, and it seems pretty accurate.
So first of all, I just want to say congratulations to everyone that even made it to the event today. Every single one of you in the games we've watched have proven that you had every right to be at the World Championship and every right to be competing for the title. I think that you're going to give us some fantastic games again tomorrow.
Yes. Congratulations to everybody who fought long and hard. Lots of emphasis on the long. You have put up with a grueling day, and you have shown why you are 16 of the best. Martin Jeff in our comments mentioned that he's going to Taco Bell for the first time and he's excited.
And as I replied, he's going to enjoy regretting that.
Which part, the excitement or going?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
I would say White Castle, yes. Taco Bell, slightly yes. Less yes.
Humorously, my wife and I were talking the other day, and she was complaining that she actually misses Waffle House.
You know what? I agree with that. Waffle House is fantastic.
I miss Waffle House now, too, because Waffle House brings like so many more memories now going with you guys at the cons,
Wow, we need to go to Waffle House now.
You show the Waffle House.
Good old Waffle House and its waffles
And
Indeed.
grits.
And grits.
and grits. That's true.
Uh,
Fair point.
So
Just
looking over the
aside.
bracket today, I'm really excited for this finals matchup to actually determine the winner of this event. We see K.A. Leo just making a strong showing all the way from the beginning, all the way to the end. And then we had Lying Dragon, who was doing great until he stepped across K.A. Leo. And then he got put down in the loser's bracket, had to play multiple extra matches just to get to this point, had to beat out some of the strongest competitors a second time just to have a chance to be able to face K.A. Leo again and redeem himself for the earlier loss.
Yeah, he did it. He fought through that lower bracket and clawed his way back into it. And now he gets his little revenge match, a best of 5 revenge match at that. It goes the distance this time. I'm curious though. It's apparently he had a crashing issue the last time. So if he doesn't crash this time, will that make the difference?
We don't know. That last game was very, very neck and neck. I think it was anyone's game to play. We were even saying in that round, for him to be able to come back right here, he needed to be able to clear that board up to keep in this game. And he had the clear. He had the exact card that he needed. So it would have really, really come down to the wire on it. I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out this time.
Yeah. It's interesting though. The finals was 2 Ambers. Do you think Aladdin might turn around and go bam? That'd be kind of interesting. To have her like jump out from the loser's bracket, claw her way into that grand finals, and then take the victory.
That may be the case. I mean, like you mentioned before, that previous match that he'd had the crash in, it was a very similar situation to the last couple of turns we saw in his last match, in the last round against Busty, where his opponent had very little in play, but was ahead in a life race pretty resoundingly, but he had kind of turned that corner. So, he was able to come back and win that, so that might have been a bit of a redemption for him. So maybe he can ride the momentum from that into this round here.
All right. They both replied, say 2 minutes.
Yeah, let's go.
So 2 minutes or so, we should get this going.
I'll just hop in then and troll Martin JF. He's telling us about all these great things he's found in America. What have they got where he lives? Because those things are pretty much everywhere, aren't they? Skittles, Pop-Tarts, Mountain Dew. Where's he from?
For all we know, he could live with the Aborigines who live a minimalist life.
I'm sure he's from Norway.
I was wondering why you guys kept talking over me every time I was saying something very deep and insightful, and I just realized I've been muted for the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, wow, Kevin is... I feel like I'm missing some insight in my life that only Kevin can provide.
So to lead into what do we have that you guys don't have, it's the high fructose corn syrup. It's all about the high fructose corn syrup. Having your drinks with just sugar in them is not good enough.
Yeah, we live a very spoiled, indulgent, and probably very short life here in the U.S.
What's up with that, Martin? I'm sitting here standing up for you, giving you love, and you're going to bash me? Am I going to join GDC's camp?
For those of you who are watching this in the replay, Martin made a comment that Kevin can provide any insight.
I agree with that. I agree with Martin on that, and I'd like to propose a truce for our 1 year grudge over each other. I think that's enough to make me want to forgive him. So if you're willing to agree to that, Martin, then
There
Wait a
is
minute, he's
the-
just called the world awful. I'm friends with the world.
I'm friends
So-
with Baylor.
So in that case, the grudge is back on, I'm afraid. So,
Grudge is back on.
you don't
Shortest truce
you don't
ever.
slag off the world and get away with it. Is this game up yet? It is. It started.
Yes, it
Let's
is.
jump in.
Shortest truce ever, friend. Shortest truce.
No, Martin JF. Today we are canceling the apocalypse.
I like that movie.
You need to watch that movie again tonight.
I know, it was fantastic. As far as the match goes, so far there's not much going on. Everybody's taking their time, being very methodical with their turns. Either that or we're seeing the length of the tournament start to take a toll on them, and they're just racking their brain to squeeze out the last ounces of strategy and calculations.
I think the length of the tournament's a very, very good point. I think that's where you're going to see Lying Dragon either prove that he has the endurance of a small god, or or yesterday's last chance qualifier is really going to take its toll on him.
Yeah, it's true, because he did the last chance qualifier win, and now he's here, and he was in the losers bracket too, so we had to slog through a bunch of extra matches to make it back in here.
Yeah,
He had the hard route, let's just put it that way. It's the tough route to victory.
Yes, for him it has been a hard knock life of late. Worth it, but it's been rough. I wish we could transport the chat with us when exporting this, because there's some gems in there. There's some good ones.
Yeah, there's definitely some good stuff in there.
Interesting how slow the game is going at this point. Well, for Amber, anyway, Ellen seems to have leveraged the first 2 or 3 turns very well. Amber had to make that choice on that Blood Frenzy or getting an ally into play and chose, you know what? I've seen the way this game goes when I don't have my Blood Frenzy, when I don't have a draw engine out. I'm not taking that risk.
Yeah, he's figuring he can slam it down on turn 3 and just hope he doesn't come across the Sever immediately until he can squeak an extra couple of cards out of it. Figuring he can kind of, 2 or 3 cards, get 2 or 3 cards out before Sever Ties comes down to really tweak the advantage.
And there is the Sever Ties immediately canceling out that advantage and just giving Eldwin the upper hand in this match.
Wow, so even when it's not an Amber Mirror and it's Spectral Sabers, you just replace Spectral Saber with Sever Ties and it happens all over again. No Blood Frenzy ever, especially for Leo. Poor Leo just can never have one.
Nope. No frenzy for you, sir. No frenzy for you.
So if you're Leo, do you take this opportunity to try and get another Frenzy out, or do you just say, okay, that plan didn't work, let's get some aggression now? Depending on what's in your hand, if you have
At
both
this point,
options.
he can jump into, Jeweler's Dream now. That lets him start playing out a bunch of tempo. So maybe he wants to go that route. I mean, that would be perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, a Jules Dream right here would be fun if you would take the Dream and maybe swing at the Alden, or I would prefer maybe a swing at the Eladrin. But the hero can maybe try and not so much damage race, but keep himself away from a damage racing scenario. And we see that's the route he's choosing to take by throwing down the Jeweler.
Well, it's kind of curious. Even in a death race scenario right now, Amber's going to have a slight upper hand because she had that extra starting health. She could take that extra hit from the Aldon.
Now, what's the next step? Aldon is attacked for 3.
Going to put him in a nice, easy kill position for next turn. Actually, someone just put a good point into our chat. This is actually the first World Championship we've had where it's not priests at the finals.
Yeah, with
Well,
no
it
priests
depends on what
featured
you
at all.
consider to be the finals, because maybe the best of 7 playoffs is the finals and they bring priests.
That is very true. So we could still see our priests at the end there.
Because, let's say Leo wins this, and then Leo gets into that best of 7, and he goes, you know what? Zana. And then boom. Priest final.
That would be an interesting call, but
That one does
We
have
saw-
sideboarding, too, so it might happen. It could
Yeah,
very well
okay.
be different from this particular metagame we're seeing.
It easily could. I mean, we saw one priest today, I believe, and that didn't last too long. So with sideboarding, that might change things.
There's scary Blood Frenzy number 2. And it came
Let's see
rocking
if
off that
it's,
JD too.
so let's see if we see a scary Sever Ties number 2.
Honestly, if I'm Amber and I see that second Sever Tide, it's going to make me
Yes.
a little bit happier. Because yes, it
Sever
took away the
Ties.
draw engine, but if I can get my Enrage now, Eladrin's going to be in a lot of trouble to get that extra Sever Ties to get that Enrage now.
Maybe, but considering how Dragon is prioritizing the board and not damage racing as much, it's not as Enrage is not as important of a factor.
We still saw
Right.
there at that last game where those 2 fireballs and then the third fireball on the next turn, that extra 10 health is so much of a boon to Amber against a mage.
Oh, absolutely, it can be.
Now we see the crippling blow come down, shutting down the sandworm. And a Jasmine to use up some more of the resources.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Yep, fair enough. Now, if you're in this position here, I mean, do you immediately prioritize the Jasmine and kill it, which I'm guessing he's likely to do?
Me as a player, yes, I would prioritize getting that Jasmine completely off the board again. Obviously, Lion Dragon agrees. He seems to play very similarly to my mindset of this game's about the board. Everything in my hand is designed to kill allies. Anything that's left over, I can throw at your hero.
Well, I'm curious. Seeing what he did there, would you have fireballed the Jasmine and played the Seductress, or would you played the Seductress and maybe done something else? Or
Being
maybe
at
held on to the
6
fireball?
resources, there's very little chance I'm going to be able to get that Seductress to activate her ability. I think he made the perfect play.
Yeah.
And then a Spectral Saber bopped him in the head, and there goes Seductress.
And in the resources, you're really, really seeing that lack of Blood Frenzy. Having 6 resources versus 4, JD is doing excellent work about allowing Amber to work with those 4 resources, but you're definitely seeing there's a disparity there.
Yeah. And if a Tome of Knowledge comes down at some point, that disparity may begin to grow.
These are the turns when Eladrin... Oh, there's the bad Santa.
Ooh.
These are the turns when that Tome of Knowledge really starts to put in work. You want that Tome of Knowledge later in the game when you have extra resources that you aren't spending anywhere else. So now is when Eladrin's going to start looking for that Tome of Knowledge to hit play.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as you can see, Dragon, knowing that he essentially just refilled his opponent's hand with any number of threats, just supplying 2 of his own, figuring that his opponent will have to deal with 2 threats, and that may not be something he's able to do. And his ability will be charged up to play.
There we see that Blood Frenzy. Now that he's got
3.
good card advantage already, he's got Blood Frenzy out. If I'm Amber, I'm very, very content with how that turn just played out for me.
Yes.
And the Crippling Blow cleans up the board. That was a great turn for Amber.
Absolutely. Now, Dragon isn't exactly that far behind in the damage race, but having seen the Crippling Blows come out and burn through 2 weapons from Leo, he anticipates there still being a lot more of ammunition where that comes from.
Realistically
And-
speaking, he's not behind at all in the race. He's slightly ahead. Remember that the Warrior started off with 4 extra hit points. So in terms of damage dealt, Eladrin is ahead on the curve.
Yes, but the health race is where it's going to be important, because the health race is what really dictates when and where Supernova is or is not a good play.
There we see multiple threats coming down, basically trying to say, hey, going to get around your burn as quickly as possible. Curious how Edelman's going to deal with that Layering Seductress. Does she want to get it off the board? Does she want to put more threats down? What's her answer right here?
Well, considering that he does have Center in play and he does run some bigger threats, it'll be interesting to see if he takes the opportunity to try and slam one of those when he's already seen 2 crippling blows, he may not see a third as an immediate response.
Definitely taking his time to measure out that path to victory. He has decided more threats is the way to go.
And what is more threatening than an imposing Jasmine? We've seen an awful lot of Jasmines in today's event. Speaking of that, while I have you guys here, you guys have been here for pretty much the entire day. What do you feel has been the real MVP of the day?
MVP? I would say Jeweler's Dream. 2 Ambers made it to the winners bracket finals, and I would say that they did it off the shoulders of a Jeweler's Dream.
Well, those are some mighty shoulders indeed.
I'd go for Crippling Blow. That has been and Layerian Seductress. She's been everywhere. She has been putting it about.
Yes.
That's actually a fair point.
Seductress is probably going to be
even
mine.
more widespread because it's like in every human deck pretty much. Like there's Seductress there and there and there.
Yeah, Seductress is probably going to be the one I go with.
What do you think?
What do you
Kevin?
got?
What's yours?
You can't resist her anyway. You will
That's
go with
true.
her.
She will seduce you. You will love her.
Well, what do you guys in the chat think? What would you say is the most pivotal card of the day?
I'm actually going to go kind of Sandworm on this. You haven't seen him put in a lot of work, but it's because when he hits the field, everyone is doing everything in their power to get him, stop him from being a threat as quickly as possible. I think that's drawn a lot of fire that would have controlled get decks in other ways, if that makes any sense at all.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you can definitely see that people are respecting the Sandworm. I mean, you have to. He's a tank of all
I
tanks.
think a lot of Aladwin's success in this event is directly proportional to the Sandworm. I think that Sandworm is really what's carrying this Aladwin deck to victory a lot of the times.
Absolutely.
Because it's not just quote unquote like a burn racing deck. It's got that Sandworm for some mid game, late game staying power. Sandworm Alden combo, or Sandworm Aeon, I should say.
Agreed. You can see the little incremental chip points advantage are starting to add up. And Line Dragon is still without a Tome of Knowledge or a Form of Draw in play.
It's humorous. Even without that form of draw, he's been using the bad Santas well enough. He's still very much in this game.
No, absolutely. Although his advantage is starting to dwindle.
I actually would like to retract my answer, though. I think Fleet-Footed Messenger has got to be my MVP for this entire championship. He's often not mentioned. He's not talked about a whole lot in decks, but he puts in so much work on so many levels. That extra 1 ping damage, the haste, the high health so he sticks around, the ability that lets you cycle your deck to get the card you need, that's all relevant.
I just like that one game where the Fleet-Footed Messenger shuffled a card away and then pulled out a Dimension Ripper for the win. It was didn't have it, shuffled a card away, Dimension Ripper, you win.
My point.
That was the angry mailman going to town.
You see Dragon is kind of behind the 8 ball here. He's staying down a very imposing board, actually.
Well, opposing is kind of different for him because he's 1 card away from clearing that board right back off, and then can drop a threat right behind it.
Or he's staring down 11 damage, which is likely to go down to 9, and possibly lower. So he's staring down 5 damage in play now, so...
And there we see his full hand is played. And the board's definitely more in favor of Amber, but I will say that Elowen has the better top decking situation for this kind of scenario because she literally just needs to draw her supernova to really bring this back into her favor.
She can, but that can also be a double-edged sword. As, ooh, my goodness, so many retreats.
That retreat's going to put in work there. Let Amber go from a threat on the board to just everything goes to the hero.
So, did anyone say retreat was the MVP? Because
The most important fact about that turn was that it took Elowen completely out of supernova range, so that there's no way that she can just nova herself back in now. Lion Dragon actually called it. He did not have a way to clear the board. He just wants to get the next game going.
Yeah, he's gonna call it. He read the writing on the wall. So
Nicely done by Leo there. That was some good Amber play.
that was took several blood frenzies to get it going, but sure.
So do you guys think this is going to be a nice clean sweep?
I would not write off Lion Dragon that easily. I mean, we watched him win the last chance qualifier yesterday. He definitely has what it takes to win, and I mean, he clawed his way up here. He can keep clawing. I'm sure he can.
Yeah, I would not say he's out, but you know, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I mean, the matchup completely. The
What I
matchup
do
is
know,
tough
though,
overall, anyways.
Is Lion Dragon has pretty much been grinding nonstop, where Leo basically got an hour break, and I know he spent it eating food, so he charged up. So he's actually, if you think about it, he's coming back well fed and I'm well rested, and then his opponent's like, oh my god, endless games.
Well, it's again relevant. Lion Dragon is the winner of the last chance qualifier, so his invite here was for playing another several hours of games yesterday.
Yeah.
It looks like game 2 is up.
Yes, they are in, and
so far we've been at a sack turn 1 pass for both sides. KA definitely taking a little longer on his turn Leo taking a little longer on his turn to pick his sack choices. Typically that means he's got a little bit of a better hand. Going for
I've
the
noticed
diplomat
Leo
early.
actually, in general, he likes to think through his sack choices early. He does take the time. I mean, when him and Busty were playing, the two of them were basically both going, okay, what do I do? Meticulous, thinking it through. Okay, that one, and they're both really thinking it out.
Yes, it's so detailed, meticulous, almost very Draw-Go-esque of them.
Draw go.
They go, yeah, wait, I'm gonna think really long and hard about this.
Counterspell.
Then I end my turn.
I end my turn.
But on your turn, I'm gonna think long and hard. Yes. Well, interesting to see the champion come down for Dragon here with only 2 hit points for the Diplomat, and Alden here could clear way. Well, not if it's crippled. It's
Always crippled. I mean, that's why Gondorian said that's the MVP right there, crippling blow, and then Seductress said too, but that's why. It keeps happening.
See, the Diplomat has come down. Is anyone else having flashbacks of the Angry Mailman deck?
Oh, yeah.
That deck was great.
Yes,
Well, every time I see Fleet-Footed Messenger now, I just think of him as a mailman. There he is.
Yeah.
It's the mailman. And he's
Yes,
angry because he hasty hits you in the head, so he must be angry.
My MVP, Seductress, coming down and putting in work immediately. Interesting, we didn't see a turn 3 Blood Frenzy.
We did not. We had that turn with sacrifice for the crippling blow to keep the board at least somewhat contested.
Yeah, I wonder if, knowing that his opponent had multiple Severed Ties in his deck, I wonder if he changes how he prioritizes Blood Frenzy as a card.
See, the Sever Ties would make you need to get the Blood Frenzies out faster and more regularly, because it's those Blood Frenzies that are going to give you the ability to overcome those Sever Ties. I mean, you saw in the last game, it took 3 Blood Frenzies for 1 to stick. There we see the Fleet-Footed Messenger coming out, doing a quick ping of damage and cycling away a card.
Yeah, you'll wonder what he's cycling away for. Maybe a weapon, maybe Blood Frenzy cycling for much of anything.
I would guess a weapon. The fact that he had his energy charged, a Spectral Saber or a JD would have been a great drop just then, and he still chose the ally. I think he was looking for a weapon.
I can't altogether argue with that. Although Dragon, I think, is slightly ahead here.
I have to give the edge to Dragon at the moment. His ability to just work the board right now is going to be so important.
And he's bringing out Seductress number 2. Although I do miss the I believe it was a playset of foil Seductresses for Busty. I do miss those.
Well, also noting, Edelwin did not just use her ability. She's leaving the Fleet-Footed Messenger at full HP right now. She's saying, I'm going to save this for another ally if you choose to play it. Otherwise, I'll just take out your mailman next turn.
Yeah, I can definitely see him saving it, A, to change the way his opponent plays, and B, as a way to really try and gun for a higher target. A more threatening target than the mailman that's pinging him.
Ooh, the Dimension Ripper is an interesting play at this point.
Yeah, it's going to lead to some shenanigans.
You're hoping to get the opponent's Fireball, their Lightning Strike, maybe even a Supernova. You're terrified you just gave away your Enrage or Blood Frenzy.
I hear that.
Yes, we have all had our experiences with the Ripper giving away the one card we didn't want to give away.
It's always Enrage.
Special shout out to Triton on that.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that was fantastic.
There was a game Triton and I were playing on the PFG servers. We were both playing Mildex.
Demchi by the
Demchi, for those of you not familiar with his non-forum handle, his RL handle, as I like to call them. And he had me. He had me dead to rights. All he had to do was wait 2, maybe 3 more turns, and we were both out of our decks, and I would have lost. But then he drops the Dimension Ripper, and I managed to hit him hard enough to get one of his Eternal Renewals into my hand, drop it, and put me back into the game.
Yes.
Back into the game you should have lost.
They both play Eternal Renewals on subsequent turns, and it just resets everything.
It was a ridiculously long game.
Well, yeah. That's all thanks to Dimension Ripper.
All you can say that is whoops.
So it's like, I don't think we have anything that imposing from the Dimension Ripper in this game, but Stealing Burn or
honestly,
maybe
at this point, a Supernova going to Amber or a Blood Frenzy to Eldwin is about as imposing as it gets. That could actually spell the game right there.
And what's it going to be?
5 resources open here.
Leo's thinking. He's got something on his mind. The mailman, of course. Deliver the parcel.
Oh, I'm gonna hope for the rare play where he shuffles away the. I was gonna go for the rare play where he shuffles away the card he stole as something that he just does not want. Hopes to draw something he does.
That was an interesting play, leaving the resources open and tossing nothing away. Kind of makes you wonder what he has in his hand.
He's obviously happy with the 3 cards he's got. I mean, I guess he just really didn't want to get rid of his Bloodlust sleeve advantage he currently has. So he stole some really nice sleeves off of Lying Dragon there.
Lying not so happy with the cards he's managed to pick up, tosses 1 away.
Oh, sure. He's like, I don't need Mornblade. God.
And the Jeweler's Dream comes out as the other card
he
that
does
he
need
stole.
Mornblade because he just played the other one.
If I'm Ember, I'm a little frustrated.
That's kind of cool. Jeweler's Dream Aladdin. You don't see that every day.
For good reason. As our balance guy, Trevor, do you think that that's ever something you might see, a Jeweler's Dream version for Eladwin?
Yeah, I think it's balanced. I think we'll give it to her 2 cost. Sounds fine. Yeah.
2 costs.
2 costs,
renew
play
2?
it, renew 2 resources. That's fine.
Yeah, that sounds about right. All in the name of science. Sounds about right.
For science.
Now, if you're in Dragon Siege, you have to wonder what those two cards your opponent has from you are. He's seen the two, well, he's seen one of the ones you took from him, and the other one he'll never see as you resource it. But you have to worry about, did you give him burn? Did you give him something else?
It is interesting to know that he resourced your card, though. By the sleeve, you're like, hey, that's my card.
Almost have to be worried about handing over a Spectral Saber as well. Because I'm doing the math. I'm thinking Amber has a lot more to lose on that Dimension Ripper than Eladwin did.
Doesn't that always seem to be the case? You're always thinking like Enrages, like Blood Frenzies, Spectral Sabers. Like, you can give away some like really bomb cards.
Well, absolutely.
Well, ideally, every card in your deck is bomb, and like the Jasmines that you're not so worried about giving because your opponent already has access to that. But something like a Spectral Saber, when they've already done such a good job of leveraging their tech against your build, that can be devastating.
Oh yeah, hand him Spectral Saber, and then he can be like, I'll just uncripple that.
I gotta wonder, was that Jasmine his Jasmine, or was that an opposing Jasmine?
Well, it's hard to know now because the sleeve is not visible anymore.
I actually believe that is his Jasmine, or the opposing Jasmine. I think that is one he stole.
Because that's a bit of a brave call. Cause
Yes, it was.
If that's an opposing, and typically players elect to resource and not play those, because if their opponent decides to play retreat, they're kind of out of value, out of a turn.
And using the sleeve counting, I could tell how many of each player's sleeves have been sacrificed and used, and that Jasmine was indeed stolen. And here we see the Ripper coming down again. Amber has decided she's comfortable gambling this game.
He'd be a Ripper. He's like, rip. That's actually okay, though. Took out the Jeweler's Dream, and you don't want Eladwin just running around with those too long.
Especially not with a Tome of Knowledge in play.
Yeah.
It's like literally like attack, draw a card. Might as well say that at that point.
Yeah, at that point, that's kind of what's happening.
Now, is Eladwin going to continue to be a weapon hero? Time will tell.
My biggest concern, if I'm Amber, is that she's got a Spectral Saber and an Enrage in her hand right now.
Well, if I'm Ember right now, I'm not worried about the Enrage too much, considering that I'm plus 10 in the life differential. So that I can just kind of... Plus, I have 2 more durability on my Dimension Ripper, so I can kind of push that advantage. I mean, her having a Smashing Blow is annoying, as I can't pump my weapon next turn, but I'm not too far ahead or behind.
And from the chat, we have people suggesting that Eladwin may have a Dimension Ripper of her own to keep this fun game going.
That would be hilarious. Dimension Rippers all over the place.
It would be. Not too sure I would play it, but it would be, considering how much burn you could potentially give away and how pivotal that could potentially be. Interesting, choosing to just not play anything else, to play a lowly Puin, draw, and pass the turn.
Well, he's not that lowly, is he?
At this stage in the game, he's not the most threatening fellow in the world.
Lowly.
He's not the most threatening fellow in the world right now.
Don't pick on the little guy.
He's a 3/3 for 2 CC. He's not a bad deal at the moment.
Just don't pick on the little guy. That's all that matters.
And there's that Supernova Amber was what I was mentioning earlier, that if Amber really could get it, that Supernova is one of the cards she wants, and now you see why.
You just put Eladwin into I can't Supernova range with her Supernova. That's nice.
Well, considering that he's ripped, I believe, 4 cards, maybe 5 cards in total, his chance of catching more burn is very likely.
Well, the Supernova specifically made it so that he could get multiple allies that were in play back off the field. He has the extra life points right now to use it effectively, and putting Eladwin down that low like that, where she can only take 2 weapon hits, that's just not where she wants to be.
Yeah, already 1 health. Even an Angry Mailman can end the game right now.
There he goes.
I would have liked to see Angry Mailman finish it, but it was a lightning strike stolen from Eladwin.
That's actually not bad at all, to take the win completely off the opponent's stolen cards, to be like, Nova, Lightning Strike, both for your cards, like, rub it in, really affect your opponent's mentality.
Yep, for the rubbins, that's kind of how that works.
That makes a 2-0 so far on KA Leo. Leo's just been undefeatable today.
Indeed. against the very much lauded as overpowered Aladwin.
Yes, in fact, I'm sure that thread will get bumped again. Aladwin in
I
the
was,
finals.
during my deep, insightful talks earlier, I was mentioning this. I'm actually a little bit concerned that Eldwin does win this, because then we have those threads to contend with all over again.
I feel like we're going to have threads regardless. The way it works is Amber wins, Amber threads. Aladwin wins, Aladwin threads. You can't get away from them.
Well, haven't we? We've got amber threads, haven't we?
Yeah, they'll bump the Amber.
Aladwin
They'll bump the
threads.
Amber thread if Amber wins, and then they'll bump the Aladwin thread if Aladwin wins.
Either way, they were right, basically. They were all right. Or maybe they're all wrong. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
Yes,
I think the real thread that needs to get bumped after that game is Dimension Ripper. Like, come on, man.
I remember a thread once that said, big thanks to the design team. That thread needs a bump.
That thread does need a bump. It's been a while.
One of those
That thread
ones.
needs-
Is there really such a thread?
I started it, yeah. No, there was such a thread.
Yes, the game is up, by the way.
Game 3 is up. It's currently 2-0 in Amber's favor. If Leo wins this game, he wins the event on the spot. Lying Dragon, on
So-
your other hand, would need to win 3 games to take this.
In a,
So
3
Leo's-
games in a row, no less.
Yep, you'd need to go back to back to back.
Now we've seen Lion Dragon beat Busty 2-1, and that was an amber. So what has K Leo got in his deck that's helping more than
Actually-
Busty had?
To be honest, I don't think Busty had the Dimension Ripper, and that was a big rogue element that was not present.
Yeah,
That twisted it around.
I think Busty might have elected to have more Spectral Sabers instead.
Back in the day, Dimension Ripper was kind of standard for Amber, wasn't it? Especially against mages.
Yeah, I think the big
Indeed.
deviation that came up in Dark Prophecies was Spectral Saber. Spectral Saber can replace some of your Dimension Ripper slots.
Yeah, it's slightly cheaper and it has a little more versatility as attachment removal.
Like, it's probably safe to say that Leo is not running, like, say, 4 Dimension Rippers. He's probably running maybe 2, maybe 3. Like, they're probably at the higher end of his curve. Just a couple. And then he probably has some Spectral Sabers and then a full set of Jeweler's Dreams, something
Ooh.
like that.
Treasured Heirloom. I have not seen that as much.
That's Treasured Heirloom on a scroll-waving diplomat who just got locked out.
That scroll was passed down from generation to generation.
Yes,
You know,
he
it
discovered
really is
this.
true what they say. The KA players really do seem to unanimously all play Larian Diplomat.
It's the same game. The same guy we've watched, isn't it? Multiple times.
Throughout previous events, we've seen other people that have also, from the KA, always played that if they're playing human.
We have.
Yeah,
he puts in all
he does put in work. He's relevant.
You can talk the damage reduction off a gargoyle and so on. You can do stuff. Aldon,
Ah.
you can rock Aldon. Oh, Saber, a buffed Saber. Goodbye, Seductress.
Indeed.
Gladwin's still on full health though. If she can keep putting threats on the board, then Amber might not be able to go after the hero. Remember, Lion Dragon has got the Sandworms and the Aeon. It doesn't seem to have made much of an appearance yet in this matchup, if I can remember.
Yeah,
This one was really bad.
I wonder if he has maybe another seductress. No, he's just going to essentially draw and pass the turn and just take the 7 damage to the dome now.
Dome, yeah. If you're a Ladwin, that's not great because she's got very little source of heal. I don't think we've seen any kind of healing in Lion Dragon's deck, have we? Not even a Priest of the Light.
No, I don't think Eladrin's got any healing.
That weapon will be gone though. You've still got the threat there. It's probably going to get nuked with a lightning strike next turn.
Possibly. And there is the aforementioned Dimension Ripper.
Just gonna sit there.
Well, you gotta wonder if Line Dragon has access to Leyline Nexus in his list.
Yeah, we've seen that, so it might be there. Might be there. There it is.
My
That
prophet
was
days
good
are
luck.
back. Yeah.
Now, does he zap the diplomat dead or not? So we'll give cards away.
Considering that he's down by 11 health,
That's really the question.
he
It's,
might
it's
have
the
to.
life. Can he afford giving him the card draw? And he
He might have
goes,
to.
yes, I can.
For a
Amber's
score,
hand was at
and yes,
1,
I
now
can.
it's shot up to 4.
Yes, 4 scored 7 years ago, I did.
And there's the Jeweler's Dream. Always a
What
nice weapon
size
to
does
see when
one?
playing Amber. And into Blood Frenzy, that probably could not have gone any better.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty strong turn when his opponent has 0 board presence against him. Sounds like a functional, strong play. Do we see the Sever Ties come down here to try and keep him from card advantaging his way back into more weapons?
Apparently not.
Yep, simple answer is no.
That's a good push for the board, though. Two 3-drop allies. It's hard for Amber to deal with those like really quickly. Needs to
Yeah.
use some kind of retreat crippling blow combo to get that off the
Which
board.
he may not. He may have.
What's Seductress?
Seductress would help too. That's definitely true.
Seen her a couple of times today. The old
Yes,
We
yes,
see
we have.
Seductress a ton.
Yeah, Seductress has been used an awful lot today.
Oh, there's the mailman. He's doing his hand shuffling skills. He's obviously Leo's digging for something.
And
Did
he
he
can
find-
kill one of those allies now, can't he?
He can, and he will have 3 resources left to spend at the end of it. And I guess what he has in his hand will dictate which one of them he kills. Well, Jasmine's probably the more imposing right now. Alden is one you can't leave around for too long either.
Looks like he agrees with you and finds Jasmine to be very opposing. So boom, gone.
And there's the crippling blow.
Now, the question is, do you think he found that crippling blow off of the fleet-footed's ability? Because he did shuffle away something. He might have found it.
He may have. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say that he didn't, just because it would make sense for the math. It kind of makes sense for him to play the messenger the way he did and swing into it, figuring that he has an answer for it. So I think that he didn't. He might have had crippling blow, maybe a retreat, and may have found maybe shuffling, trying to find another weapon or some running rage or something he doesn't want to give away.
It could have been
With
like
his
shuffle away
single
another
purpose.
blood frenzy to find something else.
Well, considering the propensity for Sever Ties, I don't know if he would shuffle away a Blood Frenzy.
It's possible. Like he still might have. He might have said, "I need live cards now because my hand's short."
Yeah, it may have been.
I don't know. It's hard to say what exactly he might have gotten rid of and for what.
If you're 2-0 up, do you take more risks or less risks?
Generally, when you're up 2 games to nil, that's exactly when you should take risks. When you should do stuff you might not do at like the start of a set or the end of a set, because you have that comfort zone where you can kind of be risky and like say have it not pay off, but you're fine. You got 2 more games to go. So I would think so. Like you might be a lot more prone to say going all in because you're like, it doesn't matter. There's another game after this one. But your opponent, though, on the other hand, is never gonna like go risky like now. They don't want to lose now. They need to win 3 in a row. Like, there's no way they can afford to take big risks.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be risky here if I was Leo, knowing that I'm so close to sealing this away. I don't want to just be patient and be methodical and not let, snatch defeat out of the mouth of victory.
Snatch defeat.
So one of you would take more risks and one would take less risks. That's interesting.
No. I mean, I guess that's indicative of the fact that I'm kind of known as a priest player and known as being a very patient priest player, so that's kind of part of that style that comes with it, is just being uber patient and methodical with every play you make. So that might kind of color my decision making.
Sabotage. Goodbye, draw.
No.
No,
On.
goodbye, crippling blow.
Yes, he is prioritizing the damage. He's prioritizing protecting damage from his hero, which I think that's actually the correct play there. Knowing that he has the Tome of Knowledge in play himself, and he has not seen anything from his opponent that tells him that it's in any jeopardy. So he doesn't have to worry about hand size, and he can just kind of keep up with the pace of his opponent. Yeah, force him to cripple it again, which means that he cannot play Dimension Ripper now, which is exactly what he would want to be doing. And you're seeing where crippling the Alden is paying a little bit of dividends for Lion Dragon here, where that the +1 banner effect is still in effect.
Uh-oh. There it is. It's the rogue element itself, the Dimension Ripper.
All bets are off.
But note that he cannot pump it now. So because he cannot pump it, that Phantom is going to chew through one of his durability and deny any sort of ripping.
Ah, good point.
That's actually true. He will
Puin,
lose
however-
card draw.
Well, it's also dependent
Puin's
on...
terrified. He's like, no, please don't.
Well, I mean, it also depends upon what he stole and what he gave.
Will he bad Santa to fill the hand? That's an option, isn't it?
That
He drew
is.
one.
It is an option, that's true.
Well, I guess he didn't have one there.
Yeah, well, the damage race is quickly becoming more even. Dragons, that Sabotage is again paying dividends and again putting in work.
Enrage. Stone.
And stolen enrage.
Nice.
Stolen Enrage is usually like the worst possible thing that Amber can see after a Dimension Ripper. Now
Does
you're
look
just like,
quite
really?
turned around. What a turnaround. The Ripper has become the Rippy. Whatever.
That's why Ripper is always called it's always called a rogue element. It's because it can do stuff like that where you're just like, wait, what? No, don't do that.
And again, we don't know what's just been won on the other side.
Yeah.
From,
Yeah,
but-
we know that Leo has 2 cards, which could be anything. Could be a weapon, could be burn, could be retreat, could be anything.
What's he gonna do?
Yeah,
Goes for
well,
Puin because he figures, well, Aladdin's probably too high up on the life total now that you stole my Enrage.
well, yeah, he can't quite damage race. I mean, ooh, that's Dragon Seductress.
if you had a
Yep.
Spectral Saber, would you be holding it now?
Oh, I
So
think I
you
would.
can pop
I would
off the
so hope
Enrage
so.
for the win?
I would still hold it.
That is so what I would want to have happen right now. Is if I'm Amber, I just want that Spectral Saber so badly to be like, you can't have my card.
If I can't have it, nobody can.
But you bring up a good point. You wouldn't use it. You would hold on to it, and you'd be like, just hold it, boom. Oh, Aeon. So Aladdin is choosing to stay big.
Go big or go home. And considering that life points are getting low for both people, regardless of the enrage, assuming that there's a way to deal with it, this may go down to the wire. I mean, this match may be decided by attachment removal.
Just bounce the Aeon. And what else? Do you think that one stolen card's a fireball? That Leo's holding.
Okay, it could be. I'm just wondering.
I'm wondering what Dragon stole.
Yeah. How do you get out of this situation you find yourself in?
Well, he's got 5 suspense. So he's
And does Amber potentially have another Enrage? Or is
Maybe.
it gonna really sing that tale where, oh, I gave away Enrage and that was that?
Interesting on the champion.
Ooh, retreat on Sandworm. That's
Double.
good.
Oh, that'll be why.
Yeah,
Must just swing around.
because that Sandworm and that Aeon are both really hard to deal with. But hey, if you just retreat them, tempo goes right back to you.
Indeed.
2 more resources thanks to the JD, but can Amber even spend them?
Will Supernova plus Fireball finish this? Amber's below 10, isn't she?
It's true. Supernova
yes.
Fireball does end it.
Still got enough.
Double Fireball ends it.
the double Fireball, will that happen? Will the magic of the double Fireball come off?
Well, we've seen at least one of the cards that was stole from my trip, and that wasn't burn. So you gotta wonder what the other one is.
Maybe it's Sever Ties.
Yeah, well, we know at least one of the cards in his hand is not burned, and that's the card that he stole. But we know one of the other cards is also not burned because that was one of the 2 allies that was bounced. Now he went up in resources this turn, so no.
Apparently he stole retreat.
Interesting. He retreats the Seductress that wasn't his. I'm gonna guess that he lost track of which one was his.
Yeah, it's easy enough to do.
Yeah.
Especially in the heat of the moment and how close things are and how long you've been playing for. Easy enough to make a little mistake like that and be like, oh yeah, that's not mine.
With 5 resources now, I wonder what does he play?
Depends what he's got.
Because if there's
A lot of that.
He's got a lot.
if there's attachment removal here, he just loses.
Wait for the dome.
Fireball. So that to me suggests that Lion Dragon is saying, I have you dead next turn, so you better kill me right now or else you just
Spectral
die.
Saber kills him, doesn't it?
Yes, Spectral Saber does end the game. And I'm guessing his
see that
first
the
shuffle trying
shuffling
to catch
hand
it.
thing is probably digging. Dig for that Spectral Saber. End the game.
Yeah, he's trying to catch it. He may have caught it.
Well, the last
Not
time
on
we
this
checked,
screen.
the last time he dug for the card, he actually did get it. He got the win off of a Dimension Ripper, so doesn't look like he got it this time.
Well, it's not indicative of him having it.
He did. He has 4 resources left.
No,
He didn't.
he did not get it. So it's just a matter
The
of...
Lion Dragon hasn't got any burn though, don't we?
He probably
sure.
does. Given the play he made, it pretty much heavily suggested that I have the win.
Yeah.
Now remember, Flying Dragon wins this game right now.
Nova.
Yes, and
Doesn't he just
did.
killed himself?
Nope.
No.
No,
Relay.
you.
So basically, he did in fact win that game off of Leo's Enrage.
Yes.
That's 2-1.
2-1. So that's the start of a comeback. Now that would be great to know that the start of your comeback was off somebody else's Enrage.
Now, you wonder, does that color Leo's experience with Dimension Ripper make him think twice about using it again? Or do you think he just charges is ahead using it as frivolously as he has so far, regardless of the likelihood of his opponent stealing the Enrage from him?
Well, I think Leo realizes that Ripper is like that. It's a rogue element. And the thing is as much as he can give away Enrage, he can also, like the last game before, he can grab Fireball and Nova and win off of it. So just as easy as it can kind of hand away a game, it can also take a game.
Absolutely.
And also, just swinging for 4 damage a turn in of itself is like a big deal.
Yeah.
I think one of the big issues that Amber might have had that game is there was 2 turns where she was forced to attack with a weapon that wasn't pumped, so it wasn't swinging for that max damage value.
Absolutely. So do we have another matchup, or are they going to...
Has not started yet. It should start
No,
any
not
minute.
yet. Jackie thinks there's 500 cards in the deck. Slight miscount, but there is 12 cards of burn in there to take.
500?
think if you've already drawn the Enrage and you've only got one, you know Ripper's pretty safe. So you might be a bit more careful.
Well, by careful, he probably means not ripping so frivolously until he can catch his own Enrage. Therefore, he knows that the one trump card he can give away, he has in his hand. Well, I mean, you said that, as you were talking about, when you're ahead, you can afford to be a little more frivolous, and he was. And it kind of ultimately ended up getting him in the end. But
It's true. You
he's
can take
still
that
ahead
risk.
by a game here. His points has to win 2 in a row, so he has
Yeah.
2 chances to seal this away.
It's still match point for Leo. If Leo just wins this next game, he still wins. And even with the Enrage getting given away, Aladdin was down to 3 health at the end of that game. Like, it was still that close with the extra 10 health. In some ways, that might actually give you confidence as Amber and say, "Nah, I can win. I can do this race. That's not going to happen again. You're not going to give away Enrage twice."
Yeah, I mean, he can say, likelihood wasn't super high that it worked last time, and that came through, so what are the chances it happens again?
When's this game being put up? They have another break?
Well, yeah.
Not that we've heard.
Don't see it yet. I'm going to say props to KA Leo for making it all the way through without falling into the losers bracket.
And very nearly taking a 3-0 sweep. That was close.
Absolutely.
Super close. And it's an unconventional Amber, I would say. Well, certainly with the Diplomats, and we've seen the Spirit Wardens as well, so that's another factor. The Diplomats haven't been that useful in this matchup, have they? Have they talked the armor off a Sandworm? Not sure if they have.
I don't think it's happened yet.
Seems to just be dropping them as just turn 2. In which case you could have been running Dirk, which I'm sure that Caitlin would have liked. His
Yeah, I
ambush.
believe we had Dirk in the semis, maybe in the finals last year. So seeing
Game
Dirk at a
4
high level
has
play
started.
is not.
Yep, we're in game 4
unheard
now. It was meant to alternate, so that's not the right person starting. It's meant to be Lion Dragon.
Last.
Last.
At least they're hosting games, though, so we're good. They just have to keep hosting until it's right.
Indeed.
Yeah, so even when it goes best of 5 or best of 7, it does keep alternating who goes first. So you always get that even amount of games people going first. So if you go first in the first one, the next person should go first in the second one, and so on and so forth.
So
Is it started again?
I'll tell you in a minute.
KAL. Well, props to KAL as well, just for having a short name to type in. That's
Props for
appreciated.
an easy name.
Nope, it's not up there. Well,
not
first
up,
let's start
yeah.
this down.
AA Killer AA asks, do you think this game will ever get big? It is actually pretty big. It's just not like super big.
Well,
So it will get bigger. I'm confident it will get bigger because as the number of cards come out, the number of options increase, would have proven itself worthy of investing into. As more like online tournaments and so on happen within the game, that will grow.
well, one of the things is, that's part of what the Kickstarter is about, is to not just expand, the amount of sets available to you guys and the amount of expansions and cards and whatnot, considering that's something that's going to be coming in, that's something that we work hard on a daily basis. But expanding the features and the different styles of play and, the quality of the game interface as a whole for you guys, that's something we really want to do to expand the appeal and, grow the game in areas where it hasn't been as popular before. We're really working hard to really push the game to that next level.
There's a whole market out there that don't know of the game, and whenever I show the game to people, like it physical, they love it. So I'm confident that it's a good enough game to become huge. That's why we put so much effort into it, because we believe in it. Could probably do with some marketing dollars behind it, though, I reckon. Marketing can get you a long, long way.
Yes, it
Well,
can. Definitely true.
yes, in America that is definitively true. Although I think it's universally true everywhere as well.
Pretty much. Marketing works. Get your word out there. It works. Makes a difference. So the
There's
game
someone-
has started.
Yeah, we're in it, watching it. Was it stuck? What's happening?
I think it's stuck. It's not.
Stuck on turn 1.
Yeah,
That's
seems
odd.
to be.
That's so
I'm in
odd.
it. Nothing's happened.
So am I. I'm in it. Nothing happened.
That is exciting. Stuck on turn 1.
Okay.
Okay, I guess we're gonna have to recreate then. I guess this is law.
What's happened there?
This is the second time I've seen this happen to Lying Dragon.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
peculiar.
Yeah, they're gonna remake.
Stuck on turn 1.
Yes. Well, thank you, a Killer word of mouth is definitely a great way to grow the community as well. So yeah, sharing the game with your friends and family and loved ones
I see the
is
issue
great.
Lying Dragon had. He had that issue where it said waiting for players for him, and then his opponent joined it or whatever, and he never sees him join, so they're out of sync with each other.
Oh,
Okay.
It was that issue.
one.
Okay, they have rejoined the game though. They're in another one.
Yes, and
Alright.
Hopefully it's the right start now.
2
Nope,
minutes.
it is.
ago.
It is the right start. So I'm already in.
Okay.
It's the right start.
Right, we'll play a little bit of catch up now then.
There you go. And this time he has not had that issue, so he can actually watch a game.
He's sacked, yeah. Down to 5. So the guy doesn't have any 1-drops we've seen. But he's trying to work out which of these don't I need? Imagine if you've got a hand at crippling blows, Laerian seductresses,
Diplomats, apparently.
Yeah, spectral sabers. That'll be a tough call.
Oh, there's
Indeed.
the turn 2 Bad Santa. You always like to see that.
Yeah, as mage, I'm pretty sure the Santa Bomb's a decent play right there. Let's see if we see the scroll wagging diplomat on turn 2 again.
No. No diplomat. If he'd have had him, I think he would have played him, so that is tough.
And there's a Jasmine on turn 3 trying to push a form of advantage for Dragon.
Well, she's going to stick. I don't think it's mathematically possible, is it, for her to get removed now? With a crippling
Retreat.
blow would... Okay, retreat. Yeah, obviously bounce.
Yeah, I've seen retreat.
But,
Retreat has defeated math.
He has defeated math.
see, bounce. Bounce is always good. Yes, she can be bounced. But she didn't bounce. She
Okay.
stayed on board. Stayed on board, and now she can do her 4 damage. Now that's quite a
Interesting.
solid.
You see Dragon not taking a moment to think about his play, knowing that he's immediately going to slam the Alden and swing in for 4.
Maybe that's him saying, I'm going to death race.
Well, maybe he has a hand to Death Race this time.
There's also the fact that Amber herself did not play an ally and did play a Blood Frenzy, so she's kind of putting herself in that position where you're losing your life.
Well, warriors typically have 4 more health to begin with than mages do, so you might just be cutting into that a little bit.
There's the JD on turn 4, though. That's always nice to see.
Yeah.
Well, you
Have
can't
a
kill
particle
anything with it.
JD. He cannot. Well,
It's the hero.
Can't
he's
kill
not going to
anything with
try.
it. But the resource refreshing is nice.
There's that
Huh?
retreat.
Well, but he's not going to try to kill anything. He's just gonna
He's gonna
swing
do
at the
that.
hero
Retreat.
and try and keep his opponent from damage racing too heavily.
Oh, Sandworm.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would have been useful, probably. Retreating the sandworm.
Sandworm is basically calling out a crippling blow, saying, "Come on, man, cripple me. Do you have it? Do you?"
Hey, I've just realised another card I would have run in that Amber to Amber mirror. A Legend Rises, because that totally
Ooh,
inverts
that would have
Such a
swapped things
blowout.
around so hard.
Yeah, that is such a blowout.
Have your crippled Sandworm get like ALR'd and go all big. So he chooses to play the mailman. He's swapping a card out for him.
The Mailman's definitely been an MVP. The Seductress has. The Saber has. Retreating Crippling Blow from the first set, from the first few batches of cards that Kyle ever designed. They're probably the top 5.
Now, does he have that
Does.
crippling blow? Oh, he has a
Nope.
retreat. So there you
Has
go.
it.
The massive tempo
Another
swing
one.
happens. So even
Tempo
though
swing does
it looked
happen.
like a bit of a damage race in Aladwin's favor, I think those 2 retreats have basically flipped it back into Amber's favor in tempo. Now it's suddenly like an Amber race.
Agreed. But seeing as how we did see a Jasmine, what's the likelihood of him holding on to that Jasmine still? Because if he can repopulate with 2 more allies, well, he's electing up the Sandworm, that would have kept the pressure on. That Sandworm there is, again, crippling blow
Just like
check.
last
Do
turn,
you have it?
it's baiting it out, saying, "Come on, bro."
Do you have it? Because that Sandworm will chew through a weapon's durability, which is what Amber does not want to see.
Yeah, she sees that. She's like, "Do not want."
Do not want. Like the chat tree in Mass Effect. Do not. That's the one I want. Do not.
Oh man, retreat.
Wow.
3.
You got one to 3 retreats pretty much in a row. That's
So we
gotta
can
be
basically
painful.
just call this tempo dot deck.
That's got to hurt
Push
right there.
tempo every single turn. You'll be fine.
Well, that retreat actually did a little bit of double duty, because if you look, it pushed that Eladwin's hand up, got her even less draw this turn.
Ooh.
Oh, I was
nice.
actually going to say, did retreat just push Gondorian out and replace it with Kevin?
It did. Gondorian has been returned
Jeez.
to hand, and I have been summoned.
Yeah, GDC was retreated.
Cool. The epic retreat segue, as we'll call it.
The epic retreat segue. I love that.
Yeah, it's like a tag team wrestling match. It's just great stuff. 5 resources, and he elects to not go with Dimension Ripper. Maybe he doesn't have it, maybe he does, but...
After last game, he's probably terrified to have it. He's like, "I don't want this."
You guys were mentioning earlier, if you were ahead by this much, do you play it safe or play it fast and loose? And now is this good time as ever to say you got to play it safe at this point. You've got to be very, very firm and establish control and keep it.
Well, he did the risk thing, and the risk thing gave away Enrage and lost him the game, so he doesn't want to do that twice now.
Well, you were saying earlier that he only had to win 1 more of his 3 games, but realistically, if he loses this game, then it's
It's anybody's game.
It's back to Eladwin could take this just as easy as Amber can. So if I'm Amber right now, I'm playing uber conservative. I am just putting everything I've got to making sure this game goes on lockdown as quickly as possible.
And what better way to do that than Jeweler's Dream? 2 of them.
Agreed.
There's Lightning Strike.
It's going to clean up the board rather nicely. Oh, not
Ooh.
electing to clean up the board, electing to put a little more damage on Amber.
Well, from the start, Eladwin was favoring a more damage racy approach. I suppose Lion Dragon's just kind of keeping that line of play going. Eladwin doesn't want to fall behind on the death race here, I think. She's trying to stay in it. I don't know if she can, but that's seems to be what she wants to do.
Well, the Blood Frenzy is definitely putting in work in her favor towards the death racing capabilities.
Well, you wonder, is that play right there, that choice, indicative of his hand? indicative of him having more burn in hand, and just trying to make sure he has as much of it focused on the hero as possible.
It was a shocking play, if nothing. I mean, the fact that he could have easily cleared 2 allies off the field and chose to just get one to put a little more damage on the hero.
Yeah.
Humorously, one of the things I've noticed in these games is Eldwin's not been using her Supernova as a true board wipe. It's been more used as a get extra damage on the hero type card.
Well, I mean, against weapon heroes, it's really tough to use it as board wipe because they can recover and punish you so quickly. You gotta wonder if Blind Dragon has another lightning strike in hand, which I think, based upon his play last turn, he likely does.
Are we seeing trying to figure out which ally goes best with Treasured Heirloom? Is it the one that's about to die anyway, or the one that's going to be there for a while? He goes for the one that's close to death.
Which does not surprise me in the slightest.
That makes sense, actually. You're like, yeah, why not? That could be the one that draws you cards that draws you a win, right?
It's also kind of
Sounds good.
taunting your opponent. It's like, yeah, he's closest to death, but if you kill him, I'm getting reward for it, so what's it going
I'm
to be?
getting my bounty.
Come at me, bro.
That is, in fact, a come at me, bro moment.
And there we see, like you were saying a second ago, Eldwin is doing her best to try and keep this a death race.
Yeah, definitely not coming at the bro there.
A double
Ooh,
fireball
double
makes
fireball.
it a little bit closer of a game.
That's death race 101, down to 6. What happens now?
Well, it's a matter of what does he have in hand, because an enrage coming down here could easily just lock the game up.
Oh yeah, enraged would definitely just be like a wrench. I'd be like, yeah, got ya.
Well, because if I'm Leo, I can put as much.
Oh,
There is the enrage.
yeah.
if I-
See, didn't play Dimension Ripper this time. Kept the enrage for himself. Now pretty much in a comfortable position.
Yeah, if I'm
Even
Leo
if
here,
Sever Ties is around, I don't know if it can come quickly enough.
well, if I'm Leo here, I'll put as much damage on the hero as possible. But the way I see
Like-
it, a hand of
overrange. Sever
Yeah.
Ties will not be enough to finish you, so that's not really an option. Suddenly, the death racing approach that Lion Dragon took just doesn't work anymore.
hands like if my opponent has double burn in hand, that could be relevant. But that enrage definitely made a pivotal difference there.
This might make Leo the undefeated winner of this thing. He went from winner's bracket to victory, apparently.
It may make him.
Lion Dragon's looking at his hand, looking at the board, weighing the options.
Yes, he's most certainly digging for any way to get out of this. Probably going to have a tough time finding one, but he's digging for it. Yeah, there's Sever Ties, but again, it's not enough. Ooh, even a fireball. It's like down to 1.
Needed that
Still
one more
not enough.
damage. And you know he's going to be watching this game later trying to figure out if there was one place he could have picked up that extra damage. But regardless, that's Amber has kill on the board easily.
Calls a good game. Leo wins this game with 1 health remaining.
Congratulations to K.A. Leo, the winner of the Day 1 event.
Woohoo! Go, Leo, go!
Amazing way to end it. So close on the death race. He went for the dome, it almost paid off, but I guess if he'd have taken the board, maybe would have slowed it down. We'll never know. Super props to Leo. So he is in the best of 7 face-off. He
Yep.
still gets to play tomorrow, because if he wins that as well, then he will do a best of 7 face-off with himself.
Yeah, which
Or not,
means
doesn't
winner by
matter.
default.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in and watching. Well done to all the players just for getting here. Any closing comments from everybody?
I just want to say that those were some exciting games. I particularly love that finish, textbook finish here, win a tournament with 1 health remaining, why not? That made it exciting. And we're going to have some great games tomorrow.
It certainly
So
showed us
tune in.
how, some of these cards are really quite solid. And I'll be putting them all in all my decks. Maybe not my shadow decks. I probably won't put Lair and Seductress in there. Lewis, closing comments? Time to add 4-Dimension Ripper, says a killer AA. Does Kyle want to say goodbye to everybody? Is he still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Some really great games today. So I'm really happy at how that turned out. We got a pretty good variety of heroes playing. Even the mirror match with Amber was really interesting to see how that played out. So yeah, good games for all the combatants today. And I hope day 2 tomorrow goes just as well.
It starts in less than 12 hours now. Can you believe it? They better all get some rest. Right, we'll sign off then, because we might be close to our 2-hour limit for this one. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you again tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. GMT for a 2 p.m. GMT start for day 2. Bye.